guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Okay, welcome back everyone. I know it's kind of like a weird time that we're going live, but we have some relevant and important updates to do, as the Free Commander X trial is going to start in a few hours. You can follow it live. For more details, you should check the Free Commander X underscore account on Twitter. There's all the details are on there. We'll do our best to cover it. I was advised that we can't do the whole live stream thing because we don't have permission, and yeah, we'll probably be fucked over, or we'll see how that goes. I'll try to do something at least, but yeah, we're going to give you some updates on that, and we have very urgent updates on the whole Pegasus Spyware thing, and apparently there is a nuclear threat. So yeah.
Yeah, why don't we start out with the nuclear threat? Because, you know, that's the most important out of everything, right? Well, besides X, but...
Yeah.
So... China just made a declaration to nuke Japan on the eve of the Olympics if it intervenes in Taiwan's conflict. So, to give you some background information, Japan has been going back and forth, bickering with China, telling them basically that if they invade Taiwan, that they would attack them, and China has now said that if they intervene, that they will nuke Japan.
Okay. You think it's like a legit threat, like that they actually would do such a thing, or it's just like a scare thing?
China, okay, so a lot of people don't know this, but earlier this month, China actually said that it would invade Taiwan and detailed how it would do it. Yeah, I really have no word. I've been talking about this for fucking, I think, a year, maybe more. But it's slowly unraveling. In addition to that, there was also a tussle between a Philippines ship and a Chinese warship, where the Philippines Coast Guard said it drove away the Chinese warship from the South China Sea.
Okay.
So, in regards to this, the Chinese warship was sailing close to the disputed waters, and The Philippines tried to turn it back, and yeah, it's just very interesting what we're watching, with China threatening Japan, time sailing a fucking warship straight towards the Philippines. I mean, like, can't make this shit up.
Yeah, so in the past we saw these threats, no, not like a nuclear threat, but also threats in regards to like Taiwan, and then we saw the West kind of like responding with making this whole fleet thing, like with India, Australia, and the United States and everything. Remember that? They made like a fleet to put pressure on China. They do combined ops like together in the area. Like a naval answer to China's attempting to get like dominance in the seas around it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They ran exercise. I know what you mean. They ran exercises, yes. And that, I think that probably included the Philippines as well.
I think so too. I don't know. Like, and then we had that other thing. Was I think it was last year that some Chinese aircraft crashed right in Taiwan. And all these rumors that it was shot down and everything, and then the Taiwanese government was super quick to say like, no, we didn't shoot anything down, and everything.
The
and
Chinese government denied that it was shot down. I know what you're talking about. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, because it always goes fast, right? With the whole social media stuff. The second it leaks or whatever, they make all kinds of stories about it.
I actually saw a video on the ground from that, and it looked like there was a missile that shot something down. That's all I got to say. And I don't know if it would have been deliberate or if it would have just been a AI-based missile system, where, you know, it detects a plane crosses a certain area and then it would launch a anti-aircraft missile. But the video that I saw, I'm pretty sure that it showed a missile hitting a aircraft. It basically, what it was the video was taken on the ground looking up at the sky, and there was a huge fucking explosion in the sky. And before that, you could see like what is it? What is it called? It's not contrails of the missile. It's what the fuck is it called? I can't remember. God damn.
You gotta say trail, I guess, right? I mean.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying. It showed the trail, like the white trail of a missile, you know. And it looked very much like it was a missile that hit a plane, but I don't know. It would make sense to me, put it that way. And we know that the Chinese have flown multiple times over Taiwan as a show of force, with nuclear bombers, by the way.
Yeah, so there could be a reason for both sides not to actually like admit that it was a missile or something, and that has like maybe they don't want to get like allies or whatever pushing for a war. That it's just like, yeah, we show force to each other, but we're not going to have like allies get in, because then it's like a war we can't stop anymore. It's like a kind of like internal fight. There's like because like the second that Taiwan does something like that and like China would do something back and it would all be public, then yeah, and you have the Americans there the next day with a fleet, for example.
I mean, here's the thing about that. I mean, the whole thing about kind of tit for tat with Taiwan and China. I mean, they have been going at it for at least 6 months now. It kind of all started because there was a Taiwanese, supposed Taiwanese spy that was captured in the CCP. And they kind of exposed the spy and everything, and ever since then, I mean, the relations between Taiwan and China have gone down fucking hill very fast. So, I mean, it's been an interesting situation between Taiwan and China. But it's not only Taiwan and China. That's the important thing. It's Taiwan and China, and then there's the Philippines and China. So it kind of looks like we're shifting towards another potential world war. But it's moving rather slow. But it does seem over time that's where we're heading.
If you're listening to this show, we're getting some downvotes, and it's probably because we have the China nuclear threat thing in the title. They automatically send like their whole People's Liberation Army online towards videos like that. So maybe give us like an upvote. Just that real quick.
Well, I mean, it is a fucking nuclear threat. When a nation comes out and says we're gonna use fucking nukes on you, it's a fucking nuclear threat. Like what?
Yeah. And this is not like in this show we don't pick a side. Like we would say the same shit about America or some other country that does it. And it's like we're just reporting the news, and we are against all authoritarian governments, and that includes China. So just listening.
Especially China. Especially China. China, you can fuck off and take your dictatorship. You could take your disguised communism, which is really a dictatorship, and shove it up your ass.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd even call it a dictatorship. I'd more so call it like an uber authoritarian, technocratic, whatever.
It's a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that Xi Jinping declared himself like a leader forever in the constitution, and you can't even insult him anymore. So
Yeah, that too.
That's why I say it's a dictatorship. It's because of that, and the fact that they're using technology to enslave their people even fucking further. They're using blockchain to literally enslave their people further. A lot of people don't know this. What they're doing is they are now starting to roll out the digital yuan. And what they're doing is they have another blockchain system that they set up for taxes, which is going to tie into that digital yuan. Doesn't yet. It will. And they want to have it so all of their people go through the digital yuan and then use the tax platform to pay. And that tax platform will make sure that you pay.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I always like to emphasize the uber technocratic part of it, particularly because of like what you said, AK, their advancements in enslaving people via the blockchain, and also like their over-the-top surveillance and kind of current leading position in the use of AI. So.
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right about the use of AI and the CCTV cameras that they have. They have advanced cameras that can unmask you, even if you're wearing a mask. You can be identified with these cameras. They zoom in and then they can identify you. They're very advanced, and China's more ahead than any country on facial recognition technology. They've actually been selling their facial recognition technology to other countries, and they've also sold their social credit system to other countries, and those countries include Venezuela and I believe Colombia. Pretty sure Colombia. But yeah, I mean it's insane. And now we have Zai coming out and saying that we're going to nuke Japan. Like, really? You're gonna nuke Japan? It's just so fucking ridiculous. And
Well, on top of the fact that the Cold War that's kind of grown between the U.S. and China is ravaging Africa right now. Because, I mean...
oh, it's ravaging America. With China's buying up.
That's yeah.
China's buying up farmland, and they've been doing it for a long fucking time. And you know, nobody stepped in and said why. No.
I just put up a picture of the Free Hong Kong revolution now. I wouldn't have done it if you wouldn't have downvoted us with your People Liberation Army. Just saying.
Wait, what? How do we have 3 dislikes already?
Yeah, I told you, like because we have the China nuclear threat in the title, the People's Liberation Army, who also commented below our episode, are downvoting us, right? So yeah.
Wait, they commented below the episode?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Like the tweet or the actual video?
Remember the tweet?
What did they say?
I don't know. I can't read it. I'll read it later.
Already shadow fucked enough, you wankers.
Okay, let me do the translate thing.
Wait, it's written in fucking Chinese, really?
It's called ud.beijing. The account.
They don't even fucking hide it.
Yeah, but it only says there's no translation, so I don't understand.
It's under the tweet about it?
Yeah, I made a tweet with the show, and there are just like
What the hell? Wait, what? So, oh, that's what they're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So, somebody tell me what they're saying.
It says, Tidak ada terhe mahan janinya gak negerti.
Yeah, it's yeah, that means there's no translation, so I don't understand. But still, I will downvote it.
I'd like to know what language it's in. It's in Indonesian.
Yeah, but it's called Beijing, and the entire account is like of made up of like tweets about free stuff, etc. It's like a bot.
Well,
Yeah, it's a
I
bot.
don't know why they're tweeting in Indonesian. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, the second like you put something like that in the title, like the bot automatically responds to it,
Oh yeah.
and it is just like it only says like there's no translation, so other Chinese people or whatever are not going to look at it because they think like we're not going to look because we can't understand, right? So yeah, these people are good at propaganda, to be honest. So they don't even have to say anything negative. They just say like, yeah, there's no, it's only in English. You can't understand it, so don't click it.
It's not hard
Yeah.
to... It's really not hard to manipulate people. Yeah. So, this says, in a new video that's now deleted, the narrator said, "We will use nuclear bombs first. We will use nuclear bombs continuously." So, that's now deleted until Japan declares unconditional surrender for the second time. Oh! When we liberate Taiwan,
Why?
Japan dares to intervene by force, even if only deploys one soldier, one plane, or one ship. We will not only return fire, but also wage full-scale war against Japan.
No, now's not the time. We get enough of that shit from the U.S., okay? Now's not the time.
Japanese Deputy Prime Minister Taro Aso responded and said, "We must defend Taiwan under our alliance with the U.S. The U.S. must protect Taiwan as a democratic country."
Isn't it a Republican country? Is it a republic? I mean, is it even a democracy? But yeah, okay, democratic country.
Well, it's dumb the way they teach you. Because they teach you like, oh, representative democracy is pretty much the same thing as a republic, and it's like, oh god.
Yeah, it's like, so you only get a chance to elect your leaders like once, then every few years, and then in the meantime, these leaders can pretty much do everything they want in those 4 years without you voting or agreeing to anything of it. It's always like a guess what happens in the 4 years.
I mean, they lure you in with the promise of elections that are very conveniently privately owned, or at least here they are, or they're completely controlled by one party, by one or two parties. And then there's also the fact that they'll implement cute little things like term limits, which just increase the revolving door between the state and corporations, or something like just all kinds of bullshit, rather than just putting power directly into the hands of the community. So yeah.
But how can there be such a distrust in, for example, the Libertarian Party or something, or the Green Party, that like, even like if you hate the other big party so much, right? And even if they don't get any airtime or anything, why aren't people like, for once, there's like mass voting on them? Like,
well, because people continue to fall into the version of the duopoly, even if they don't like someone. Like the amount of people on both sides that were like, "Oh, I have to vote Trump because I don't like because we don't want Hillary to win," or "Oh, I have to vote Hillary or Biden because I don't want Trump to win." And also, there's the fact that like third parties in the U.S. specifically are honestly shite. The Greens rigged their primary too for Howie Hawkins, who has the charisma of a dying moth. So, yeah, that's not exactly the leader that you want to rig your primary for. And then the Libertarians have like zero way to publicize their shit because they can't get funding for anything. And then there's like 50,000 different socialist parties, and half of them were started by the feds to begin with. And yeah, it's a whole mess. And then through all of it, people get caught up in party politics and partisanship. And they don't just realize, hey, what if we just not vote and refuse to legitimize this system this time around? And you'd think that like an election between Biden and Trump would be the perfect time to do that, but nope. We're propagandized as fuck over here.
yeah.
Well, really, it's not surprising.
Someone laughs about your dying mod comment. I swear you almost said Hitlery. Oh, you said Hillary Clinton. I thought you said like you were going to say Hitlery. I swear I heard that. Yeah.
That's my name for Hillary. Hitlery Clinton.
I've heard Killery a lot too.
Oh yeah, that makes sense too. Hillary.
Yeah, but I mean, it takes more skill to call her Hitlery.
I watched TLAV episode tonight. Like sometimes I go to the stream, right, of TLAV, like hearing Ryan talk. He does a lot of research, right, and he was like showing like Joe Biden clip, and like everyone agreed like in the chat that it was like a deep fake kind of the clip. But he like in some like frames he looked completely different. He had a completely different face. It was really shocking.
Well, what was he talking about in the video? Was like he more coherent than usual or something like that?
No, he was just as I didn't understand shit of what he was saying. So, yeah. No, it's just the same stuff, but his face did look different, and like everyone was saying like, no, this is a different person, right? This must be a different person. Yeah. Just real quick about those whole politicians in America. I don't think they do that because and why I had to think about it was because of the whole thing that Hillary used to have like a doppelganger, and she looked like exactly like Hillary. Because back then her health was so bad, right? And then suddenly like she showed up at all these meetings. She was like super energetic and stuff. And then when you like search on Google and stuff, you find this lady who looks exactly like Hillary, and even standing next to each other, and they're like even friends and stuff. And she's like a perfect doppelganger of Hillary. Well, I guess it's Biden that just use deepfakes.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing with Biden is like, regardless of whether his press conferences are deep faked or not, you know that he's not the one running shit. He's literally a figurehead and nothing more. That guy is being afflicted with dementia right now and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. He is not running this stuff. Is that Kamala Harris? You see, I posted it in the chat. Oh, there's someone who posted the Hitleries. We can't show that, we get removed from YouTube. But this one we can.
It's in the
This is like a perfect doppelganger, isn't it?
Huh. I could see it. Yeah, I could see it. The picture looks old though.
Yeah.
Did you post
Besides,
it?
they could
Yeah, in the chat.
could both do like different facial reconstruction surgeries to make them look more alike, because I know Hillary gets some kind of like freaking Botox injections or whatever.
Definitely.
Okay, so I don't see. Where did you post it?
In the ABB server, in the general chat.
Yep. I forget that woman's name, but yeah, that's her doppelganger.
Yeah, it was a better pick, but I can't find it right now. But yeah. Someone says, Mariana, did my comment just get deleted? I didn't delete anything. I don't know. I'm looking at all the comments, so maybe try to make it again.
I'm a free speech mod. I don't delete shit.
No, so maybe just make it again. I don't know if it gets deleted. I think if you post like a website link or something, it doesn't work in the chat. But for the rest, I don't know.
No, you can post a website link. It's just that like, unless you're a mod, then it won't become like clickable, if that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I know that Google deletes comments sometimes as well. For a while in the Slow News Day chat, we'd get the damn Google moderator team, which would literally come in and delete like random ass comments of people just saying hi to each other. So, yeah, it was dumb.
Yeah. And OZ whistles, yeah, we just used this title for a clickbait, just saying. It's not like we actually make a difference.
Well, we're gonna talk about this stuff anyway, so it's not really clickbait.
Yeah,
It's not like we're putting. Not like we're putting, NBA Finals live stream or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think some people think that we actually think that China is so much worse than these fascist governments in the USA and whatever, and in Europe. But yeah, really, it's all the same thing right now. Like, they're all moving in the same directions, right? And I'm not sure if you can stop it anymore.
Yeah,
It certainly seems
I mean,
that way.
look at how they're all collaborating through these fucking World Economic Forum, Great Reset, Fourth Industrial Revolution projects. Like, you think that the U.S. and Russia hate each other until you see both Putin and U.S. reps giving speeches at Davos. So it's like, okay, that really should really let you know how it's all for show. I mean, at the end of the day, they're all like, ooh, you know what? This little manufactured beef here is actually doing both of us good, so let's just keep it going.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with
There's a
you.
little
but-
beef there.
I would agree with you, but over the past couple of years, China and the U.S. and China and other countries have been going at it, not just in trade, but taunting each other and, I mean, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did the whole China thing now. We should talk about the spyware, Pegasus spyware targeting journalists, or yeah, not just journalists, but they seem to be on top of the list of the targets.
Oh, it targeted journalists, lawyers, activists, politicians, up to, I think they said 50 different, or no, I'm sorry, 100 journalists, and activists and lawyers and politicians were targeted by a Israeli firm that starts with a C. It's Sidari. I don't know how you say it. So that was number one, and that's what we were put on. And then apparently, just a few days later, now we have another company that goes by NSO Group.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and NSO Group, so they created this whole software, and at first it was reported that you had to like click a link, etc. Okay, so mainly the big difference between this and other spyware and whatever is this one is like really capable of targeting iPhones, and Apple did a lot of work to defend its iPhone. That is what they really promoted it with, and it's completely compromised now. Like, I mean, this spyware uses iMessage, uses WhatsApp, etc. to compromise iPhones.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it shows that both iPhones and Android are completely insecure.
Yeah, with Android we already knew it. That is but the iPhone had like one special thing, and that is that it would like I'd say sandbox or like lock in specific apps. Like you could hack like one app, but it would not get access to the rest of the phone with it. But now it is like they compromise the entire phones. They activate your camera, your microphone. They trace you, and they can literally do anything on your phones.
Yeah, they can download your whole contact info. They can download all your pictures, all of your messages, your Telegram messages, there's a whole list of different things that they have there.
You can see your pictures, your videos. So, what if you're on the ground and you're recording shit, the stuff that you choose not to publish or, share for good reasons, they can see that. I know Amnesty, they have a graphic that shows like the countries that were, the journalists in specific countries that were at least, the the graphic is too powerful to share. What? But yeah, Amnesty basically put out a picture that was like, oh, if you're a journalist in this country, then you were targeted by the Pegasus spyware. But the thing is that graphic didn't include like the U.S., the U.K., France, the West at large. But yeah, nah.
Yeah, and so what bothers me about this NSO group is that apparently it's allowed to continue its operations because originally this is from 2018. Pegasus became known in 2018 already, where the NSO group tried to sell it to Saudi Arabia. Um, Edward Snowden was also talking about it back then, and back then already it was said that it was like used to like track people covering the Jamal Khashoggi case, including journalists but also close friends of Jamal Khashoggi, and it was released in 2018, and there was a lot of shit about it, but apparently they just continued with the whole shit. And the thing is, like, the second it became known, actually it was already known before that, like by Apple, etc., even in 2016. And Apple released already a patch in September 2016 against Pegasus. But apparently they just continue to work, and they are literally like fighting against like Apple and whatever to get control over the iPhones, which to me is kind of insane.
Well, it kind of seems like the iPhone had a backdoor in it, and so did Android. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Why hackers all of a sudden, you know.
Yeah, but they're acting like we just discover the whole Pegasus thing, like this is all new. But the Apple released patches in 2016. It was all like worldwide news in 2018, and they're just still going. It is now 2021. Like this is 5 years later, and these people are not being stopped by anything. And Apple has to like release patches and stuff. And the spyware only became more powerful because back then you had to click a link to be infected. Now there is just a no-click. You don't have to even have to click. They can just remotely inject it.
That no-click update was actually a few months ago. I mean, that wasn't right now.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, back then. Okay, so I'm just reading. I just opened an article about it, right? And they literally, the NSA group made a statement to this Citizen Lab, and they said Pegasus is specifically designed not to operate in the United States of America. Just saying. And you can see how shady this company is, because in the same article it says, in July, a senior programmer who worked at NSA Group, he was hauled in front of court. He was accused of trying to sell the company's intellectual property on the dark net for $50 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so you have a company that gets access to all the iPhones in the world if they want with a spyware, and there are employees there who actually sell stuff on the dark net for huge amounts. So it's all possible that if you're a journalist or an activist or whatever, and your phone gets hacked by this so-called legitimate business, that your info is sold on the dark web, dark net, that you will find your own information there.
Oh, that's fucking lovely.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I don't know. Well, I mean, I do know why, but still, like speaking, I don't know why Amnesty wants us to believe that this has only been used in 11 countries, because, oh my god.
But it's not. You know it's not, because even if you assume that, there are people who use VPNs on iPhones. It's like, so even if you would like be advocate of the devil and say, okay, they only targeted the 11 countries, it's very much possible that among these countries is a country that offers high quality VPN services and is chosen a lot, and that there's people from other countries using VPNs from there, so they're also targeted. because they will be recognized as an IP from for example Netherlands or something, or Germany. So they will be targeted, thinking like, yeah, okay, the spyware targets Germany, but in fact it's someone else behind it from another country. Maybe it's a whistleblower in Myanmar. Or, yeah.
Hmm. Especially right now with all the protests that are happening like all over the world, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did see this coming, Rob. I mean, we are like every like episode we talk again about that these governments are doing this, and they're using these companies to do it. Like, I'm not like a big fan of government, etc. But at least like when you have people working at a government, they like register everything. They are not headhunted for the highest paying jobs. Like they like if a programmer goes to work for the government, he will not get paid these amounts that he gets at like Google or whatever or Facebook. So you can assume that he is not going for the big bucks. But these companies like NSO Group, there's kind of people like who are like obsessed with money. They start like selling stuff on the darknet for 50 million. Your private information, right, and intellectual property. So yeah, these companies have absolutely no restrictions on them. And in governments, they have like they register everything. Everyone is being watched in their thing. So there's always like a higher up person who knows about it. I'm not talking about the CIA and the rogue thing, but I mean, if you work in some some local, like some tax office or something, you're watched heavily by your superiors. So you can't go that far out of the book. iPhone is spy and Android. Someone says, yeah, there's this Israeli firm called NSO Group, and they have a spyware, and they can spy on your iPhone or on the Android.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing was iPhones used to be more secure than Androids, but I mean, now that's out the window.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, but like you can assume that like, if you have like if you present yourself as being more secure, you know you're going to attract the people who look for that, for more privacy and security, and you know that intelligence agencies are going to like put priority on you.
Mhm.
Okay, are you still here?
I'm here.
I always scared you to drop out for some reason, a technical issue. Yeah, these weird moments when
I was here reading the Project Pegasus stuff. It's really interesting. It's bizarre.
digital blackwaters, right? That's the thing. They can do anything they want. These people.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Digital Blackwater.
Yeah. And that they put their HQs in country with like countries with like almost no rules and stuff, and that for some reason they fall under these rules and not under their own country rules anymore, even though they're citizens of a certain country. Very strange. And that is the problem. Well, if you refer to the USA, for example, with I think it's called Citizens United, right? That companies are considered citizens too. That you can
that like money is considered like as tangible as like a citizen, specifically when it comes to something like campaign funding and election funding and lobbying and shit.
Yeah, and so you have so in here you have it's called a BV. That's like a certain type of company. And in the UK it's called an LTD, like a limited, right? That's a certain type of company, and that is considered a real person, a natural person. Has its own number, etc. If it goes bankrupt, you're not responsible. By law, it is treated as a separate person, and Yeah, technically that is a loophole in the law. I think they're using these companies like Blackwater and these NSO etc. to like have themselves registered in some country where there's like little rules, and they're considered a real person, and so they abide by those rules and not by their own country that has a constitution and everything. So yeah, that's why what AK mentioned before about. Or was it that whole CIA operation that was registered behind a bank in Pakistan or something? BSSI group. It's like in Pakistan there are very little human rights laws, so yeah.
Yeah, but these are both being run out of Israel. Both of them, by the way, both.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's strange to me. But yeah, then it has to be like done under like the constant notion of war or something. You can't violate human rights like that openly if you're like a democratic country. The fact that it happens in the public like that.
Democracy.
Yeah, it's weird. It is strange that we reached that point apparently that it is now possible to do it in public like this. Well, it's surprising to me because in the past, like, still it could not happen in like Germany or even in here. It would not be possible because it would be such an outrage, and there are these foundations, and they would sue against these companies. Sounds weird, but it actually happens. I mean, the Germans sued Twitter too, and they sued Google, etc. Like in the past with Google Earth, with all these faces were visible and. License plates on cars and house numbers were visible, so German privacy watchdogs sued them, and Google was forced to remove the faces from Google Earth, etc., and license plates. Otherwise, they would have to pay fines or leave Germany entirely. So that's the thing. There are in some countries there are watchdogs, and I'm surprised there are not international watchdogs groups doing it in this case. But yeah.
Well, now they're just writing strongly worded letters, coming out with cute graphics.
Yeah,
Same shit that they do with Julian Assange and other issues of the sort.
Yeah, I know, but like in the sense that now this is specifically targeting journalists. If I was the journalist protecting an organization that advocates for journalists, I would sue them, right, for big money. Just to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're not at the head of these huge NGOs, Luby. That's why I'm not either.
Yeah, I would definitely do that same day. Sue them in a European court, and at least like all the Europeans hit by this would be compensated, right? And just to show a message to them.
Yeah, sue them for money, protest, like, don't let these people perpetrating this sleep or breathe without hounding them about it.
Yeah.
But
and in U.S. courts too, if U.S. journalists are hit by this, you have to just sue them, and it is not just for the money, right? But a court case keeps publicity on it. It's public, so everyone can watch it.
And it's a way to establish a precedent, even then. Or at least if the ruling ends up in your favor, then it's a way to establish some sort of precedent, at least.
Cop 2 is probably right. You're going to disappear if you sue them. Yeah, you have to make it so super public. Everyone has to be involved. You have to do like collective lawsuits where everyone can donate a few bucks to join in. You have set up like a foundation or whatever, a collective foundation. You have everyone donate to it, and you make this lawsuit like you do with 100,000 people at once. People who normally sign for whatever petition, donate $1 to it, get a good lawyer, and sue them or something. Like, I know you're going to lose because they're intelligence, but at least you keep the publicity on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, the same with that Facebook. I mean, Zuckerberg looked really bad there. I know nothing is really going to happen against Facebook, but still, he looked really bad there. Looked like some kind of like robot sitting there having to defend himself and stuff. That kind of keeps the whole takes the whole story away of being untouchable, right? You always want to see them sitting there being all like nervous and stuff, like the whole public watching them, and changing the mindset of people that these yeah, big powerful people are not untouchable. You just see them sitting there being scared. That's what we need.
Yes. 100%. Like, what the thing is like, once you ask them once, you keep hammering at them with that shit. I don't know. Like, this is why I'll never get into a White House press room. But like, when you get in Zuckerberg's face, or when you get in like Anthony Blinken's face about Julian Assange, don't just let them deflect once. Keep hammering that same point home, so that way it actually lands how duplicitous these political actors are.
Yeah, and at this point we have to. Yeah, you're completely right. And at this point, like, we have to realize that what we just said about the elections in the U.S., that there's only always two parties winning because they have all the media power, right? So who really rules everything? That is the media. So if you put them in the public view and you actually take like some kind of like control over the media by having them be visible there, you are making an effect on things. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The power is with the media. Navigator Ann says scare YouTube, Google and Twitter into almost being utilities, and watch how fast they turn to people's side. They used to present themselves as utilities too. Yeah. They have all the local governments having their whole own Facebook pages and whatever, communicating to the public. That's already the weirdest thing ever to me, though. Because Facebook removes you from Facebook if you say the wrong stuff, and that means you no longer have the ability to contact your own government. Like, what the hell is up with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, and they can use Facebook posts as a pre-crime evidence too, because that's what they used against Daniel Baker when they arrested him on a pre-crime charge at the beginning of the year. Was they used a Facebook post that he was basically saying something like, "Oh man, I hope Trump supporters come to protest here," or some shit like that. And because of that, they used that as pretext to say that he was going to commit some sort of violent act, and that's ultimately what got him, was a Facebook post.
Yeah. AK, are you still researching that Pegasus stuff?
Crypto AK.
This guy. I'm looking at lists of 11 countries. Weird, Hungary is in it too, because it's nationalist, I think.
Oh yeah, I just put a big circle. So for the chat that can't see this, I put the map of the 11 countries. It's Mexico, Morocco, Hungary, Azerbaijan, not surprising, Kazakhstan, not surprising, UAE, not surprising, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, India, Togo, and Rwanda. Those are the 11 countries they give. So yeah, I drew a giant circle over the USA and said, bruh, is you really want me to believe that the USA isn't on there, or Colombia is not on there for that matter, despite the fact that they're probably hosting some sort of CIA outpost for Latin American and Caribbean operations. Brazil is not on there. Chile is not on there. Israel isn't on there. UK isn't on there. France isn't on there. Australia, New Zealand aren't on there. Bunch of African countries that you'd think would be on there aren't on there, because honestly, a lot of the governments that aren't listed, had they had access to this technology, which they probably do, they would most likely use it, considering they already use very similar means to surveil journalists and activists that are adversarial to them. Right now, I just noticed.
Okay. Yeah, I have the picture in the meantime visible. People can see it. Yeah, you have to realize that when it says 180 journalists identified, of course there is a lot more on it. Like that's what's identified, and 50,000 plus phone numbers. Of course there is a lot more on it. This has been going on. Like the first articles appear in around 2016, and in 2018 we still have articles. This has been going on for a long time, and there is a lot more on the list. But this is just what they release, and yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it's not Pegasus, if it's under some other fucked up development name, but same software, same technology, just a different name produced by a different countries with We're being surveilled out of our fucking minds. There's a huge crackdown on activism and journalism happening. It's time to really stand up against that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually something that AK knows a lot about, that someone mentions in the chat. I don't know where he went, but...
Crypto AK.
Yeah,
Crypto AK, reveal yourself.
Yeah, because someone says Bitcoin moving to Russia, but he actually said that they banned cryptocurrency in Russia. That's what I was going to say. Okay, so we mentioned the China nuclear threat, we mentioned the Pegasus spyware. We're supposed to give free Commander X updates, so it's actually good you're in right now.
Oh, whoa! So, yes, well, it's no secret I'm here because I'm going to be protesting here tomorrow morning anyway, so I can say this. But I'm currently in San Jose, and San Jose, California, because tomorrow, or, well, I guess if you're coming to us from Europe later today, July 20th, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, that would be 12 p.m. East Coast time, and 5 p.m. London time, and 6 p.m. Netherlands time, is the first scheduled court hearing for Commander X. There's actually a link to attend, and I'll make sure to get that in the chat, and also because the 20th is X's first court hearing, we chose that day to have a day of action for Commander X. We're in San Jose specifically. At noon, we're going to meet outside the Robert F. Peckham Federal Building, which is the San Jose courthouse, which is actually where the judge who is hearing the case is scheduled to be. So we'll be protesting outside that building, and then also in Mexico City, there's going to be a protest at 10 a.m. outside the U.S. Embassy, local time, I'm assuming. But yeah, that's what's that's what we know for tomorrow. And also, if you want to like flyer or protest safely outside of any Mexican or U.S. embassy near you, then please do that. And if you do, then feel free to tag at FreeCommanderX _ so we can boost it and let people know that there's going to be solidarity for Commander X as he's going through this trial. X is ready to fight. He's feeling strong. So it's gonna be something where we want to let him know that we're fighting for him as well. You can also write to him. If you can't protest, then please call in or dial in or get into the actual Zoom meeting of the trial yourself. That would be much appreciated if we could have a bunch of people kind of tweeting about it while it's actually happening. Yeah. But X is going to remain strong. He said that himself. He's ready to fight, so we're going to fight for him as well. And again, tomorrow, if you're anywhere in North California, tomorrow in San Jose at noon in front of the Robert Peckham Federal Building, which is the San Jose courthouse, we'll be protesting for Free Commander X. I'll be there. Steve from Slow News Day will be there, and Keith McHenry from Food Not Bombs will be there. X did a lot of work with Food Not Bombs in helping their Freedom Camp for the homeless encampment in Santa Cruz get Wi-Fi. It was literally one of the last things that he did before he was renditioned to the U.S. That's one of the last things he did, was help get the Freedom Camp Wi-Fi so they could broadcast kind of their struggle against the Santa Cruz police and the state there. And then that's also kind of where his activism started, was helping the homeless people. So, yeah, that's why also this location is important. But the actual indictment against him also brings in charges from Orlando because of the supposed DDoS attacks against sites in Orlando for their draconian treatment of Food Not Bombs and the homeless and other activist groups there. So, yeah.
Okay.
I just posted the article link that I posted in the chat. An article by Pamela Drew has the link and the password for the Zoom meeting that'll get you in, and then I'm also putting in the actual court schedule from the website. It's scheduled to start at 9 a.m. I don't know if that'll actually happen because bureaucracy, but yes, it's scheduled to start at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay. Dina asks if we can discuss chocolate milk, but we don't have that in.
We don't have Ted. Chocolate milk's cool. It's a decent recovery drink. When you have all those commercials of the athletes drinking it, there's a bit of truth to it. But yeah, everything. But in moderation, moderation, it's all right.
Just don't drink more than a gallon like Tad does every fucking day. That's just why he's not on air with us tonight. Just saying. He's
probably sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay, but passed out as in sleeping.
Chocolate milk. I don't know. Maybe chocolate milk overdoses makes you pass out too.
I mean, if it's got a lot of sugar in it, then you get the sugar crash.
Oh yeah. Kaptu asked, "Are you going to stream tomorrow? Can you enter the courthouse?"
Okay. Actually, I don't think we'll be entering the courthouse just because X is scheduled to appear via video conference. And we don't really have plans to actually go into the courthouse, but without giving too much away, let's just say I did see this building already, so there will be a fair chance that they can hear us from the outside, and it is my intention to make sure that they can hear us. So yeah, and yeah. Well, in terms of streaming, Steve is probably gonna stream the protest, and I know Mark was saying that might not live stream the hearing, but release a recording of it as soon as it ends, so that way, like, they don't stop the court hearing mid-hearing to be like, oh no, Anonymous is live streaming, you know?
Okay, okay. I'm cutting this 10 seconds and I'm going to call AK on the air. In the end.
What?
I'm going to call. Give me 10 seconds. I'm going to call AK on the air. Crypto AK, that is.
Crypto AK! Nicole, what's good, Nicole?
Crypto AK, did you return or?
No. I was just reading out who's in the chat.
I never had chocolate milk with vodka though.
You said you never had chocolate milk?
I never had chocolate milk with vodka in it.
Not with vodka. But, okay, so in Miami, allegedly, I may have tried this, but in Miami, you have this thing called rum chata, just kind of like Bailey's in the sense that it's like a dessert deal, like it's called rum chata because it's a mix of rum and horchata. And allegedly, I hear it's really good.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Cup to you.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think we covered everything. It was supposed to be like a super short episode and AK also disappeared. But we're supposed to do we're supposed to go all live like all day tomorrow. I'll also be in the Action for Assange vigil in the second part. I think you'll be in the first part, right, Glory?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what part I'm supposed to go on for, but yeah, I'm supposed to be on.
Yeah, so in the they asked me for the second part to like deliver like news and stuff. So I'll probably
okay.
Yeah, I'll probably talk about the Pegasus stuff and maybe some updates on Command, but I think you will do that too already.
Yeah, well, because I'm gonna be on specifically to talk about the free, how the Free X protest in San Jose went. And yeah, listen, guys, if you're watching this and you're anywhere near San Jose, please come through. Like, it's important that we really take a tangible stand against this increasing crackdown on activism, hacktivism, and journalism, and like dissent in general. So it's really important to show up, not just for X, but for Assange and other people connected to war on WikiLeaks. So
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, so I have to probably go to sleep soon because if I want to cover this whole event, everything the whole day. But at least we gave some quick updates, and please go to the Pamela Drew article you see in the chat if you're listening. Otherwise, go on Twitter to Free Commander X underscore, or just use the hashtag Free Commander X actually, and you'll find. Make sure that you'll find a link to the court stream, so you can watch the actual stream live. Why is it important? And that is because, yeah, at this point in time, we are not sure if we can trust the U.S. court system at this point, or any court system. So we have to make sure that if we put our eyes on it, they might, yeah, do a little bit better their best, right? And of course, if Commander X gets a chance to speak, he will speak for a few hours in a row. So it'll always really nice to listen to.
You will not be able to shut him up.
Ah, there you are. There you are. You know, like,
We were talking about chocolate milk earlier, Ted. We thought of you.
Yeah, someone in the chat asked if we could talk about chocolate milk. Then you show up, so now we can do it.
Well, I'm at work actually, but
Well, just say what is the best chocolate milk?
what is the best chocolate milk? Well, I have my own brands that I like, but that actually is to each their own, right? I mean, everybody has their own taste. Some think that the Nutricia one is the best one in the Netherlands, but I actually like different ones. You know, what was the brand again? Damn it. Milbona, I think it was.
Oh yeah, I know that. That's
Yeah,
from the Lidl, I think.
Yeah, that one is from Lidl. But yeah, I like that one the most because it's more creamy, it's more full, you know. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So Lidl is a German supermarket. They sell nice chocolate milk.
Oh yeah, they do. Actually,
If I ever go to the Netherlands, I'll try some, Ted.
actually, it comes from Belgium. What I saw on the package.
If I ever go to Belgium, I'll make sure to try some, Ted.
No, the milk comes from Belgium, but you can buy it here in the Netherlands as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you have a Lidl in America. You have an Aldi in America, though.
Oh no, I don't know American chocolate milk brands.
Ew! I tried it. Not yummy.
Doesn't
No.
Nestle make like any good ones or something?
Nestle's alright.
I shouldn't even mention Nestle. They ripped like the drinking water from the poorest people in the world.
Yeah.
I have an excuse to say that now. But Nestle buys
Yeah.
up all the cheap water in the ground, and especially in Africa and stuff, and then sells it back in plastic bottles to people.
Mhm.
Yeah. Disgusting.
There's like a document about smart forests where they're basically planning to surveil like all crops and all forests and all nature that's connected to the greater fourth industrial revolution, and they mentioned a project by Nestle in there, so no, not a fan.
Someone asked me in DM if there is a telephone number list. Telephone number list leaked by that whole Pegasus thing. I don't know about that. I will search for it for you.
By the
Yeah.
way, Mark, check your DMs. I asked you something in DM, but you didn't respond yet.
Okay, I will.
It's about free SR stickers.
Oh yeah.
If you heard something about it.
Okay.
Oh my god, yeah, I need to get more stickers. I always carry like flyers and gorilla tape on me, but There's only so much of those you can carry, so my supply's getting low. I need like actual stickers because they're just easier to deal with.
Yeah, well, I ordered some.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you about that. I can't give these details on the air. It's like not safe.
Yeah,
Sam,
man, where can they send the stickers to?
yeah, what's your address? Hey, Sam, Commander X sister is also messaging. She's a little scared about tomorrow, she says, but yeah, excited nonetheless to hear her brother speak. Let me see what else we have about that.
I hope he pisses them off and just takes them the whole day talking.
He will piss them off, definitely.
If he gets a chance to talk, he's gonna piss them off.
She always puts the messages on auto delete, so like the conversations are pretty much empty with her. Like after a day, everything is deleted.
All right.
Okay, well, San, if you're listening, there will be protests tomorrow. We will do our best to broadcast the stream too, illegally, of course. There will be a lot of attention. We'll probably quickly organize a tweet storm too, so make sure that everyone watches the stuff. Don't worry about that. I mean,
Yes. Feel free to pirate all the streams.
yeah. Guptu says Nestle's fake chocolate. I hate Nestle so much, like the company Nestle. I don't care about if their chocolate is nice or not, but like that guy once said, like drinking water is not a human right. It pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
Who says that?
Well, and I had their chocolate milk before. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Huge plastic polluter. Yeah, they're plastic polluters too, definitely. Coca-Cola too, by the way. By the way, if you buy these plastic bottles and stuff with drinks in it, like you have to know that they're actually filled with all these microplastics that you get inside your body. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Every single
You know what
bottle.
else has microplastics in it? Surgical masks.
Yeah. I watched this Canadian television program that tested all the bottles, and literally every single bottle contained like plastic microplastics, but some plastics were as big as like a human hair, literally like floating around in the bottled drinks. Just saying. So you drink this and you get like plastics in your body the size of human hairs sometimes. You're not even noticing that, but it is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is really bad. Like I'm not, I'm not totally not into that whole environmental stuff thing, but in this case, it's really necessary. The whole plant is being polluted by these companies, and it gets into nature. Like even if you throw away plastic bottles and stuff, like tiny little particles go off it and stuff, get into the environment, and it's really really dangerous.
Yes. Don't be littering fucking assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't know one in this chat is, so.
Dad, are you still here, or did you fall asleep again?
Who's at work, remember? So I don't know.
yeah.
As I said, I'm at work, so I'm just listening in, but I can't talk much.
Okay.
Alright.
Yo, she's at work early, 7:40. Oh my god.
Snap.
What happened to the whole
Alright.
9 to 5 society? Is it gone now? It's like you work from 7 till midnight now. Okay, I did 80 minutes. Yeah, well, we're probably going to end the show, Rob. Anyway, I mean, I'll be tired.
7:40 it is, and I started 7:30, and I'm actually driving around in the car now, so I can't be with my phone in my hand all the time.
Oh yeah, Ted, be safe.
That's why. So I'm listening, but I can't talk much because my colleague next to me thinks it's annoying.
Okay, well,
Ted's friend. Okay, yeah.
okay, well, Gloria, you stay safe too tomorrow, and yeah, if other people are in the San Jose area, they should go there, right?
Of course.
And they should join the protest for Free Commander X. It is at the actual courthouse,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. No, it's a courthouse. I can tell you.
Okay.
But yeah.
Otherwise, if you're not in the area, there will be a Twitter storm and everything at hashtag Free Commander X. You can find it, and it probably will be going on all day, at least during the whole court case. You'll find links on that hashtag to Free Commander X, or you can find the Pamela Drew article in the chat here. Probably post it again below the stream. It is also on the at Free Commander X _ account on Twitter. That's pretty much it. It's like it is your chance to speak up for Commander X, and also against the United States being able to extradite a person from another country even a decade after something supposedly happened. He asked for asylum in Mexico. Whether he got it or not, it doesn't really matter. When you ask for asylum, you already enter the legal process in Mexico. You even get a weekly amount of money, a small amount. You get like a little prepaid credit card. You get like a lawyer, a free lawyer there in Mexico, and you're in a legal process. And technically, you fall while you're in that process, you fall under similar legal protections as when you already have asylum. It's very important. I'm not sure why we don't read much more about it from his lawyer yet, but maybe tomorrow we hear more about that. Yeah. I hope that they will argue on that too. It's very important.
Yes.
Because this is very important, because like in the Assange case too, like Assange had asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy, and then he was safe there. We all thought he was safe, and then suddenly the U.S. makes some kind of deal with Ecuador or something. He just gets dragged out of the embassy like it's nothing. You're in another country technically, right? You're not in the USA. You're not in the UK anymore. You're in another country that gave you asylum, and they just illegally extradite you, so to speak. Because
Physically drag you out of the embassy.
Yeah, because they made a deal with Ecuador that you were not able to defend yourself against this whole procedure. Like technically, they would have to do some kind of like court case, like for even that in Ecuador. Like argue that they asked for your extradition from Ecuador, and you're allowed to defend yourself. Kind of like what they're doing now with having him extradited from the UK to the US. There's a whole court case about that. Technically, that should have happened too in the case of Ecuador before he was taken out of the embassy. For some reason, never happened.
Well, and prior to him having his asylum illegally revoked, he's not the president anymore as of recently, but Lenin Moreno, who was elected, who was far more, let's just say, sympathetic to the U.S. interests.
Yeah. So, okay, so there is something to say here for the UK, right? I mean, in favor of the UK, which is weird actually, but I mean, like Ecuador just gave Assange to the US. At least in the UK, Assange got a trial. Mexico just gave X to the US without a trial. Ecuador just gave them Assange away without a trial. At least the UK is at least giving the illusion that there is a court case that protects him. that's something. Meanwhile, they do keep him locked up in horrible circumstances. So yeah, it already takes it away again from me, the positive part. But yeah, this is important that in the X case he didn't get any trial about it. You just get taken from a country, get thrown into a hole in the ground somewhere in California, and we're supposed to all accept this. Well, if you accept it for X and you accept it for others, yeah, you're accepting that new situation for yourself too, and that is why it's actually important to go to protests like this. Because like, what makes you different than a person like X or like Assange or whatever? Like, in law, it can happen to anyone now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be about like something you actually did. Like, they can accuse you of something. I mean, X is not convicted. He's accused of something. Technically, anyone can be accused of something. Some person can like anonymously report you for like whatever, and there has to be a trial. But you're already taken to the U.S. Like, you're already there. You're taken away from your home and everything. So yeah.
Exactly.
So legal consequences are very important, and that's why everyone should go there. No, it doesn't matter if you like X or not. It is about your own rights again, and yeah, we will do our best to cover everything as much as possible. Yeah. I will try to get San in too. I'm not sure if she's willing to, but we'll see.
Alright. Want me to do the PSA?
Yeah.
Alright. Last reminder, y'all. If you're anywhere near San Jose, 12 noon outside the Robert Peckham Federal Building, we'll be protesting for X. His court hearing actually starts at 9 Pacific time, 12 East Coast time, 5 London time, 6 Netherlands time. So, yeah. Follow at FreeCommanderX_ for updates. FreeCommanderX.org is the website. And always remember the anonymous PSA. Make sure to spam neuter your politicians and lobbyists and bankers and military contractors and royalty. Did it.